I think my Brio needs an upgrade. Well, seriously, over the past 2 years when the Raize was introduced, and then we get a lot of increase for strut bars. Like strut bar for a Raize, really? Who the hell buys this car? Until I found out that the base model costs 750,000 as of 2023. It's like, oh, sub 1 million car. 1.2 3-cylinder engine. Then the top variant is a 1-liter turbo engine, and it's pretty big. It's definitely bigger than my Brio. It's definitely bigger than my Jazz. This, I would say, is the most perfect starter car that you can buy right now. And this will be the ever first tune Raize in the entire country. So only we're able to do it. There's no remap for this thing. There most likely will never be. So we'll be doing intake, exhaust, then tuning using the Unichip for this one. I believe this is a turbo variant. Let me check. This really is a turbo variant. We also have carbon fiber hood for the Raize, as you can see here. Yep, this is the 1-liter turbo variant. So yes, we'll be tuning it with Unichip. And first things first, we'll put it on the dyno. Then we'll see how much power it makes. Yes, dito. Okay, this is our dyno for the Raize, 1-liter turbo variant. It's a little under 80 horsepower. Not bad. Okay, for reference, 80 horsepower is a 1.5 Jazz. It's a 1.5 Vios. It's a 1.6 Lancer. So basically, the top variant is equal to these cars' power in terms of power and torque. Torque is at 100 Newton meters, so that's about this, the same as a Civic VTI back in the old days. So it's not bad, not bad at all. I believe this one is either a million or thereabouts. So again, perfect starter car. The intake and exhaust on our Raize is done, and then we put it on a dyno, and it's not bad. It's the green line here is stock. This is 74. So after intake exhaust, it's 87. So that's 13 horses peak to peak. But if you look here at the bottom, it went from 30 to 50 horses. So that's 20 horse right then and there. That's big for a 1-liter engine. That's still without the Unichip tuning, which you are doing right now. We're installing the Unichip, and then we'll be tuning in a while. So the torque also went up from 100 to 125. There's a big increase at 3,000 RPM from this about 70 to 125 right there. Not bad. Not bad at all. No wonder a lot of people are buying this car. So after upgrading just intake and exhaust, you get 15 horsepower on the average, and you get about 30-40 Newton meters on average. That's basically like tuning already. We'll see how much more do we get. I said it already, the Raize cannot be remapped, and most likely will never have a remap no matter how long you wait. I think it will be the age of electric cars, and there's still be no remap for this car. So you're probably wondering why there's a dude underneath here. What he's doing is he's tracing the necessary signals that we need for the Unichip, and what we need to tune a car is to know three things basically. We need to know what the load is, so that's basically how much pedal you step, so that's the load of the engine. We'll need to know how much air goes in. We need to know spark plug timing. So air, fuel, and spark, these are the three things that we need to know. The throttle controls the air, the fuel controls obviously the fuel, how much fuel goes in, and when the spark plug fires. And to get those things, these are the signals we need. So for the Raize, these are it. For the load, we have to get how big the throttle opening is. So this is the throttle body here. It's an electronic throttle, that one over there. There's 6 wires here. One of them is power, most likely the red one power, then there's ground, then there's signal, then the other 2 are feedback. So the signal is usually one of these 2 middle wires, either the blue one or the brown one over here. This is a variable 0 to 5 volt signal. So usually it's 4 volts, or it depends. It's normally 0 to 4 volts. 0 is closed, 4 is fully open, or 4 is closed, 0 is fully open. It depends on how the signal works. But that's the reference. And then the other one that we get is crank signal, which is down there. It's down there by the crankshaft. It's kind of hard to see, but it's down there where the crankshaft is. So that one gives you a tooth count signal. So there's crankshaft turns, there's a toothed gear there, and then there's a magnet. Actually, yeah, there's one tooth that usually is magnetized. So this is the crank sensor. It's basically a magnetic sensor. So once the tooth passes there, it counts 1, 2, 3. So that's how we count RPM also. Then we need some way to determine how much air goes in. Usually on most cars now, it is a mass airflow sensor located somewhere here in the front. The Raize doesn't have that. It has a manifold absolute pressure sensor, which is this one over here. That thing is a manifold absolute pressure sensor. Kind of hard to see, but yeah, that's that one over there. So it is basically a pressure sensor. Open the throttle more pressure goes in, and close the throttle, less pressure goes in. But that's actually a misnomer because we're at atmospheric pressure, so it's actually senses vacuum. If you open the throttle at full throttle, there's no vacuum. So if you close it, there's vacuum inside the manifold here. So it's still a pressure sensor, it's just sensing vacuum instead of boost. Actually, this one senses boost also because it is a turbocharged car after all. That we usually find mostly on the older Hondas without the mass airflow sensor. My Honda Brio has a MAP sensor. It does not have a mass airflow sensor. Then, since this is turbocharged, we have here a boost solenoid. So basically, this is your boost controller. It's an electronic boost controller right there. So this one, we can control that as well. So we have four things. We have throttle, we have crank, we have map, and then we have boost. So these are the four things that control the whole engine. And once we get all those signals, we're able to alter the amount of fuel that goes in when the spark plug fires, which is usually we do it as an advance. And then, of course, we want to raise the boost and see how much more we can get. Target estimates right now, so it's at 80 horsepower stock. We'll do another baseline with the intake and exhaust on. My guess is the intake and exhaust on this one will give us around 6-7 horsepower in total. And with the tuning, the aim is to reach hopefully 100 horses or maybe a little bit more. So for reference, 100 horse, 100, okay, let's say we do get 110 horsepower from this one. That is 1.8 Civic level power. That is Lancer 2.0 power. That's Civic, the old Civic 2-liter. What else is 110 horses? Pretty much any 1.6, 1.8 engine is in that area. So for a 1-liter engine, that is not bad. And for a car this small, actually like a mini CRV if you want to think about it. So we'll continue tracing it. Then the Unichip will be mounted here near this is where the ECU is. So the Unichip will be mounted here, where it's nice and easy access. And no, it is not hot in the engine bay. It's hot for the human, but it's not hot for the components. As you can see here, it's mostly made out of plastic. People have a misnomer when they think of plastic, it melts, but no, there are plastics that are designed to melt at a lot higher temperature than the plastics, like a plastic bag. So there's no worry about it. All these things are engineered to withstand the heat of the engine bay, which is normally around 70 to 150 degrees ish. Ambient air, by the way, here will never reach 150 degrees. That doesn't work. And 100 degrees is actually the engine operating temperature, which is the temperature of the water inside. 70 degrees is usually the outlet temperature when it comes out of the turbo. So this one goes here, air goes in here. This is where the outlet is. That one, there's an intercooler. There's a very, very small intercooler here. Actually, it's about that long. So the output temperature here is 70. After the intercooler, usually it's about 55, maybe 50. Then it goes into the intake here, be cooled. And as a bonus feature, after everything's done, I'd like to install a blow-off valve to see if it will just blow off, because it is a turbo after all. we're done. This is the very, very first tuned Toyota Raize in the entire country, and only we can do it. This is December 2023. So yeah. And these are the results of it. So this is a dyno chart. Stock power, we're at 72 horses here. So that's this black line here. So the 72 horse happens here at 55 RPM. That's where the 72 horses happens. Then after intake and exhaust, we have the blue line here. And it maxes out here at, we can rev a little bit higher at 6,000. So that's at 95 horses. So we got pretty much 12, 13 horses more between these 2 points. And then these 2 green lines are after the Unichip tuning. We went from 95 up to, there's 2 lines. Well, it's basically the same thing, 107, 109. So here, that's the result. And if you take the stock result, it's the difference from the black line and the green line. You're looking at around almost 30 horses increase here. This dotted line is, you can see this dotted line is actually the torque. So torque also went up from, well, it's a 1 liter engine. Let's not expect too much. So we went from 91 to 100 foot-pound, 107 foot-pound. So it's more of a horsepower car than a torque car. So I expect small engine, small torque. But 30 horses from a 1 liter engine, even though it's turbocharged, is not bad at all. It's actually very, very impressive. Aside from that, we got rid of the throttle delay as well. And then drive normally, you should see about 8 to 10% better mileage. So again, we're the first ones to be able to tune the Raize in the whole country. And we will be the only ones to be able to tune it from this point on. Nobody else can do it.